Yeah, oh, Prof here, and we're finally going to be selling off some of these Snap-on tools. Not these guys; those are mine, but the ones back there. So some of those are quite good quality. If anybody's interested, let me know. I think I got a gunmetal screwdriver rather than a yellow one. Barely seen in use, but the reason why we're out here is because of this. I was going to make a video on it, but I ended up doing swapping all the sleeves on my vinyl. I was going to make a video about the products I use from Sleeve City, USA. Don't you worry though, because if you look right over there, there's still a big pile. Yeah, I ran out of the outer double sleeves. So like the ones that hold the vinyl that have two or more in them for the outer sleeves, and I completely ran out of inner sleeves. Normally I would replace all of those, but on the Blinky Jet City ones, they actually come with paper with the plastic sleeves on that are really nice, so I didn't bother there. But yeah, so I still have a chance to make that video for you guys. Going over that stuff, because I'm gonna have to do it again when I get more in. And of course, the ones I need, the oversized sleeves that do the limited edition vinyl, are back ordered. So it's going to be 3 to 5 weeks before they ship. Today it's going to be about, more vinyl. We do have just some things that came in the mail. This isn't going to require its own video. Yep, that's Elias Tech Tips one. That's why I picked it up. And it does have its yellow corners and all of its yellow bumpers, which is why I snagged it. Because though I'll probably put those corners on a newer fan, sacrilege, I know, you can't buy them separately. Noctua does not make orange as a color. We've got another Knipex here. This one will probably be part of a dedicated video. 7002-180. It is a smaller but high leverage diagonal cutter. So, I think I've mentioned in previous videos how I prefer the ones with the straighter handles. Let's see if this shows better on the more zoomed in. I think you can tell a little bit better there that these are, it's still the smaller head, right? But the handles are straighter, which when you really want to bear down, I feel like a little bit better for cutters. And then for like pliers, I prefer the more rounded handles. The actual unboxing or going over this with other ones will wait until I have more models, because it turns out they did release some stuff. So and I need to open up that guy. They did release some stuff. They did some more came out. Normally they've been doing this in batches, but out of nowhere, I don't know, like 3 or 4 more models showed up on the US website. Some of them, or maybe even 5, some of them were for the Knipex. Some of them were the ones that I picked up already from the UK, and especially Australia. So maybe we were just a little bit behind in the US. The one you just saw was the only one that's currently available. Those two that you see on the screen right now came in. I don't remember if they made it into a video or not, because it was just those two that came in, and they came forwarded from Tenso, who is the company I use for the forwarding service out of Japan. Highly recommended, actually. There we go. And wow, this is just one. And I do have some more coming in for not with these guys. This is the replacement CD for Bump of Chicken Iris. There was a incorrectly mastered track on there, and this is the split between Foul and Bloodthirsty Butchers. One of my favorite Bloodthirsty Butchers albums is their split vinyl, and that's a new split CD. I believe it's only from one artist from each of the bands. But hey, like I said, one of my favorite Bloodthirsty Butchers albums is their split with Foul. So, very interested. Turns out that this bad boy is just one item in here. I was wondering, like, I didn't remember ordering another vinyl, or they weren't coming yet, etc. And, yeah, Bump of Chicken. This is actually one I had to use CDJapan's Proxy service for, because even though Bump of Chicken says they will do international, and they actually recommend Tenso, which is the brand that I use, or the company I use for forwarding, they don't take international credit cards. So it's kind of like, and I think I've ran into that before, otherwise I would have had this or the previous one that was exclusive to Toys Store, which is that's Bump of Chicken's label. I'm going to save this because I have to mail a hard drive back for RMA. You guys might have seen it before. I might have showed it off in a previous video. Well, I need some packing. Might as well reuse this packing right here. Holy bejeezers, is this thing chonker. For anyone why this, you probably actually wouldn't have seen it because I purposely had it off camera. Put a new blade on here. Oh, I was doing some stuff over the weekend, and man, oh man, I was like, I just changed this blade, but then I remembered I did all those videos were rapid fire the other week for you. The other week, I mean like last week. Video day, guys. We're trying. I don't know if it'll always be that way, because part of the way we're managing it now is that I have a very large backlog that I can get into, and even that's draining a bit, but that's only because I haven't gone into the backlog. Let's just say there's videos going back to, I believe, 2017 that haven't come out. So we're going to be going all the way back. We're going newest to oldest right now. But this was one that was actually requested by one of you out there that I pick up. And the only reason why I hadn't already picked it up, you can see that the UPC is actually taped here on the outside, is because this was a Toys Store exclusive. And, I hadn't picked it up because it didn't. Normally I use HMV, for those wondering. See, it doesn't even fit on the 1X zoom with the way that the arm is set up. We gotta go up higher. Okay, I can't even see the camera. Hopefully it's in there. And normally I go off of HMV. Even though I pick up a lot of my stuff, you'll see me picking it up from CDJapan. Well, a lot of stuff is exclusive to HMV in the first place, so that'll notify me about that sort of stuff, right? Even though I buy it on CDJapan. Also, CDJapan, I don't know if they have notifications for new stuff coming from artists, but HMV, you can create an account. You can order from there too as well. If you don't want to do CDJapan, not a problem. If you are going to order, often I do put links in the description. This is one time where I'll be like, yeah, if you're going to order, hey, use my links if you could, or hop onto our Discord and ask me one, or hit me up on Twitter, what are we on now? Threads, Blue Sky, all that sort of stuff. Just hit me up. I can send you a link for it. But I do actually have an affiliate program with CDJapan because I've been using them since, I think, 2006, I want to say. Roughly. It's been a hot minute. Though I don't like get money out of it, right? I do get points. So that does help me when I do orders, especially ones like this that are much more expensive because I have to use their, I'm not saying their proxy service is expensive. It's actually reasonable. But because I have to order these big guys through there. And these are, let's just say a lot of the ones that are exclusive to a lot of these band stores are exclusive for a reason, some of which is they might not be able to like make enough of them to warrant putting it out another way, if that makes sense. This is Homesick. Is it Ace? I actually don't know. 2024 orbital period, right? 28 years round. Now I should probably know this. Why they chose that? I don't know how long they've been around. Bump up chicken, wiki, Chiba. 1994. Math says 4 carry the 2. No. That is quite a while, though. Oh, since their conception in 1994. So I was like, that wouldn't be right. 28 would have been 24. But yes, if they actually put out their first song in 1996, they've had 28 singles and 10 albums. So that means they've done a single a year. Whew. I have not been listening to them for 28 years, just to clarify. Songs in pop culture. Let's see here. Blood Blockade Battlefront, I know about that. March Comes Like a Lion, I knew about that. No, never One Piece. Maybe it was March Comes Like a Lion, 2014. It'd still be about 10 years. I remember hearing songs Sirius and Spica closing respectively. I remember those coming out. So that was 2018. Go. Yep, Grand Blue Fantasy. So it's probably been 10 years that I've listened to Bump Up Chicken, and I'd have heard their stuff before because they're like pop. I would consider them pop rock personally. What is it? Alternative rock, definitely. Indie, I don't know if they'd be so much anymore. They're definitely they're definitely indie-ish. There are a lot of bands because they've been so successful in their like with their anime stuff, right? With their anime openings and endings. There was a show that I swore this year had an opening from them. But then you would get a little bit further into the song, and then you're like, oh, that's not the right singer. But like they're literally like copying the sound. You know what I mean? One thing I've always said about Bump Chicken and why I picked up this big one is a lot of their stuff, because it is for openings and endings, or like the one that they did for Pokemon, you can tell that thing was ratcheted, tweaked, and tuned to like I couldn't have anything wrong with it because it's such a big track and that sort of stuff, which takes some of the, what do they say, je ne sais quoi out of it. You know, some of the feeling, some of the rawness, some of the you say indie band, they are, and I guess their sound in many cases would be classified as like alternative indie. I would agree with that, but I would start putting them in pop because like their stuff has gotten so popular to the point where other bands are even like, that even caught me off guard with how close it sounded. But their live stuff, because you can't tweak and tune and master live that heavily, right? Let's say it's got more to it a lot of the time. Like because some of those songs can get actually even like a little bit stale if you get their like, at least from after hearing their live stuff. Whereas some other bands, I do prefer their live stuff, but it's because of like what they do in their live stuff, as in they'll do extended versions, or they'll let solos in, or they'll have artists from other bands in that help them tour. So it kind of throws that sort of stuff, and it's just interesting hearing a different rendition of it. Whereas this, I'm like, I actually prefer their live stuff over their like, what do you want to call that? Not retail. The like mastered album version. Brains farting. 3 a.m. I just wanted to crack this open because I didn't. This came in. I accepted it and had to go into a meeting today for work, and I had no idea what was in the box. Like, it was a vinyl box, and I'm like, what vinyl did I order? What am I forgetting? Turns out nothing. I ain't forgetting shit. Homesick Case 2024, I think. There's probably a better way to pronounce that. Bump of chicken. Kind of pizza box style. Yep. Okay. Formation date. Here, let's take a look there. Orbital period, 28 years round system. There you go. Formation date, they consider 1996 to 11. I'm guessing that 1994 was like when they were like considering being a band or whatever, when they had the idea. And then on that exact one is the concert that is recorded here. Kind of cool. I don't know if when ordering this they mentioned the orbital period thing or not, but I think Space Brothers for that, probably. Okay, so we've got foam. We've got a bunch of accessories, like a keychain. That's actually my vibe kind of keychain. That is fluorescent orange on so many. You got a bunch of pins. That square pin's pretty dope. I'm not usually a pin person. Would actually use that keychain. It's like a reflective, high-vis fluorescent orange. A little bit of a chill opening that, actually, to me. Is it that lack of sleep, lack of food, or awesomeness of the packaging? Then we have a bandana. I think it's based on the shape and the design. That's what that looks like to me. Let's see if I'm getting all this in. There we go. And you're like, why did you pick this one up? Also, just from a perspective of these guys right here, this is actually a 2-day event. Day 1 and day 2. This is day 1. They did release day 1 as, I believe, streaming only, like on Spotify and that sort of stuff. But if you actually want the like Blu-ray, I think CD and CD. Trying to see here. I'm pretty sure I own the thing. I can touch it. Yeah, that's definitely a CD. So if you want the Blu-ray, which is the actual video of it, and you want a physical copy or a known lossless copy of it, this is the only way to get day 1. Day 2 is available as its own like release. That was the general release that you could just like buy in stores. I bought it from CDJapan, I believe. Like, this is where one of you out there actually reached out and said like, hey, I saw you had this one. Do you have that one? And I'm like, no, I didn't even know I didn't have it. And then I realized once I did research it a bit more why I didn't have it. It's because it's a Toys Store exclusive, which is their label. So it's a label store exclusive release, meaning only way you're getting it is ordering it directly through them. And I can see why now with everything they have in here. This is like above even a lot of, maybe not the highest end, like Boom Boom Satellite, or Boom Satellite / Spellbound, or TK / Lintoshi Shigure stuff. This is right up there with their highest end quality releases, you know, like with all the extra stuff. And then further down in here, what do we have? So sadly, this is part of it, and this is part of why some of this is so expensive, is this is like ticket stubs. A lot of this, when ordering, would give you early access to the ticketing system. Like, as in, like, if you buy this, you can almost, like, I don't know if it's going to be guaranteed a ticket, but, like, I would assume so, because I think that, you know, there's only so many of these. Like, you could actually get a ticket to a following concert. It's the same thing like that I have had with the Spellbound, with some of their releases, where I think other bands have done this as well. Like, you know, if you release it, or if you buy their limited edition release of like an album or a single, often it's a single, and then you get like an early access. They'll give you a code, and you'll get an early access to their ticketing system, or it'll be for a specific rate with it, and or, you know, and that's a lot of the reason why these Toys Store exclusive ones and some of those other ones were so expensive. And sadly, I know when I say like the Spellbound and Boom Satellites, they even had ones where you could opt to pick it up in person. Like, and you would get it actually before either day of release, but you could only go to that event if you did the pre-order directly through them. Or the brain farting is here. You could pick it up in person early, like at certain locations. And then some of them, like, you could be like a day early or however much early. Or in general, like, you may be the only ones, you may be able to pick it up at the release party, but you couldn't have gotten into said release party, or some of them will even do a release concert. You couldn't have the option to go there without picking up something like this. Now, a lot of your fans that would have wanted to go to said concert would have wanted this anyway, you know, or the equivalent of this with other bands. There you go. There's all your information. Bump of Chicken Tour, live CD, disc 1 and disc 2, Blu-ray, 131 minutes. That's 2 hours, a bit over, 48-bit, 24 kilohertz, and a mix between 60i and 24p for the frame rate. I really like the Japan. For some reason, I say it that way. Always does that though, where they have, and US should have had that, because the interlace stuff is paying the tush to deal with. And if you're getting a lot of the early Blu-rays were still interlaced because they're actually just upscaled source material from the DVD. Now, it still might be higher than DVD quality, but it, you know, like if it was native, either modern content or film content converted, it wouldn't have been interlaced. So, I, in the past, have not given you guys a preview of what was in these. This time, I thought, since we just had the one, we could and hopefully you enjoyed taking a sneaky peek. I'm not going to go too much more into it just in this little video because I want to enjoy it myself. And you know, we'll leave that for later. For me, that keychain though, banger. Yeah, sadly, being outside at some point, my plan to see, I really think if you want to see more than a band or two on your trip to Japan, is you're either gonna need like your full stay of your visa to make that happen, or you're going to have to plan to go to a festival. And that is my plan at some point. If I can rope, I mean, even if I can't rope somebody else, then I'll figure it out myself. Ideally, rope somebody else to go in with me. I would actually even camp at a festival, because some of the biggest ones, you can actually just rent the campground. And I think it would be, like, awesome, you know? And that's the only place you're going to see, like, there like, I was Ariake Rock Fest, I think. Like, there were no less than 8 bands last year that, and some of that they stream live, and I'm watching it at work as I'm working, like watching them, but like listening, watching off to the side, that sort of stuff, you know. Going to one of those, like 4-day venues, or events, I should say, would be quite interesting. But yeah, pumped to have this one part of my collection. For those of you interested that had reached out, yep, this will eventually, you know where to go. But this, guys, is the only way, as far as I'm aware, to get day one anywhere other than like streaming. And that's just the audio, and I believe only lossy quality. You know, like you're I might be wrong there, but and it now makes very much sense to me how I missed it, because it's only available through, and I do plan it, because I actually ordered the second thing coming. Some of you may know what that is. It's prior to this, but I do need to probably reach out to them and let them know, like, hey, as much as you say international people can order it and they recommend Tenso, your credit card processor doesn't actually take international credit cards, so I can't do that. And it's not like mine isn't taken. Trust me, it is. Plenty of things have been purchased before out of Japan. Not only, I guess, the current card, because somebody stole it and used it for a UK online casino and buying tea. That was not fun. So, if you guys enjoyed this, hopefully we'll see you in future videos. There will be some more coming. I did get confirmation of some more stuff shipping out of Japan, because I had recently put in that big old order. I believe the order that's coming, actually, though, is just some used stuff I found when I was placing mid-March here. I did place like a big order for like stuff back that got missed in February, and then going out, I want to say, to March, June, depending on the like the band and stuff, if their stuff was available or not. Some bands only announced like a month before, so then I have to play the catch-up when I do my next order. But yeah, this order, because and this is I believe it's an HMV order, they do not allow you to mix and match used and new items. You have to have an order for used and an order or orders for new. And then I was like, oh, if I'm going to do that, because I got to pay shipping, might as well take a rifle through and find what we all got. So hopefully you'll come back for that video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.